Commission's called to order. We are happy that you are here with us this afternoon. We know that summer is closing out here pretty quick, 2 weeks. All of our schools will be open. The early and middle college opened up last Thursday. So today was their, what would that be, third day, I guess, in session. So school is upon us, and in 2 weeks, all the big yellow buses will be out there rolling, and we all need to be especially careful during those times. Dr. Phipps has been with us. I think today is the 44th day. Tomorrow you begin your 45th day. And in that period of time, he's been very active. He's visited all the schools. I know at the very beginning there, he wanted to see the schools, and some of the board members went with him to show him how to get to Collinsville and Dudley Shoals and some of the other places. But I think he's getting a handle on that now. And he has visited all the schools, met with all the principals, have called all the principals into his office and spoke with them individually there. He's just been busy. He's been with community leaders, business partners, other stakeholders, and certainly parents during his 44 days with us, and has done an outstanding job. So we're very pleased that he is the superintendent of Caldwell County Schools. At this point, we're going to move on with the agenda, which is the invocation for the board. And I guess I'm the one doing that. The one I had seen earlier was someone else. But anyway, certainly what I had already mentioned, that as school begins, we need to be mindful of the students out there on the buses, driving the cars to and from school. We need to, in addition to being cognizant of that, we need to keep in mind those administrators and those teachers that are dealing with them on a day-to-day basis, bus drivers, cafeteria workers, everybody, and the interaction that they have with their students. They play a very important role. So we need to keep those people in mind, and certainly the safety of all of our students. If you will, for a moment, let's have a moment of silence. Thank you. Next is the Pledge of Allegiance. And today, providing the pledge for us is Natalie Brown, daughter of Libby Brown, who is our School Community Relations Director. If you'll stand, please.
Attention, salute, pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Natalie. We appreciate your being here with us this afternoon. The board has had opportunity to look at, review the agenda. Do I hear a motion that we approve the agenda as has been submitted?
Chairman Kennel, I move that we approve the agenda as submitted.
Okay, second?
Second.
Comments or questions? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? And the motion passes. Next is the approval of the minutes. On the 9th of July, we had a work session. There are minutes that the board has had opportunity to review, as well as the regular session that we had that day as July the 9th. So do I hear a motion that we approve the minutes of both of those meetings, the work session minutes as well as the general session, the regular meeting on July 9th?
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the July 9th work session and regular session minutes as presented.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And motion passes. Next, we have honors and recognitions. We may have to do this, adjust this a little bit, because I think some of our people are expecting to be here maybe at 6 instead of 5. So what we're going to do is go ahead and recognize those that are with us now. So we're going to go down and we're going to congratulate those that are here with us now. A little bit later, you might note that we're going into closed session, and if others come at that time, we will have another honors and and we will recognize those at that time before we go into closed session. So, Mrs. Libby Brown, we're going to move down here and congratulate those that are being recognized.
So Chairman Pennell, board members, Dr. Phipps, it's a pleasure to have students in our midst again. And it really feels like that school has started at the Early College, Middle College, and will soon be starting here with our 2018-2019 school year. So we're very excited to have our students back in the boardroom. So welcome. We do have two students with us from High Brighton High School. And we have Joe Watson. And Joe, if you'd like to come forward, please. And we also have Mason Smith. So both of these young men were the state champions for North Carolina Beta. And Joe, first here, Joe came in 10th in the 10th grade math division in the national competition at the Beta competition just recently. So he is our math wizard from High Brighton High School. So congratulations to Joe Watson. Mason, please come forward also. Mason Smith came in 7th in the 10th grade social studies division. And Mason, this is his second time going to national competition for Beta, so we're very proud of him. He's a little bit more experienced. Joe, you get your picture? So come on back down, and it's our honor to recognize both of these outstanding. Yes, and Mr. David Caldwell is principal of High Brighton High. Would you like to join these two young men for a photo?
They'll have me.
And I would be remiss if I did not mention their advisor. Shauna Greeno is the advisor for the Beta Club and does an excellent job. So we're very proud of these two young men from High Brighton High School and their accomplishments at the National Beta Convention. Very good.
See all places. Ready? 1, 2. I'm gonna take 2. 1, 2, 3. One more. 1, 2, 3.
So congratulations. Very proud of them. Now we're going to talk about dollars and cents for a few minutes, and it seems like our finance department has lots of cents with their dollars. Okay. We do, yeah, we do. The Caldwell County Schools Finance Department has been awarded the Association of School Business Officials International, ASBO, Certificate of Excellence in Financial Reporting, and the Government Finance Officers Association, GFOA, of the United States and Canada's Certificate of Achievement for Excellence in Financial Reporting. Both awards represent the highest forms of recognition in the area of governmental accounting and financial reporting and reflect a significant accomplishment by the government agency and its management. This is, drum roll, the 16th consecutive year that the Caldwell County School System Finance Department has been awarded these honors of highest distinction in government accounting. So that was a mouthful, but they have two huge awards recognizing their accounting practices here in the Caldwell County Schools. So congratulations to David Johnson. He is our finance officer. And David, come forward, please. And his team is with him, and they will accompany him to the front, so I'm going to announce the team members. Denise Bolick is the accountant. Linda Young, payroll specialist. Susan Duncan, employee deductions specialist. Michelle Britton, purchasing agent. Sarah Smith, school fund coordinator. And Melinda Mullis, accounts payable, and actually one more, Jamie Setzer, accounts payable. So he has a nice team of helpers in finance, and they do an excellent job in the financial department for the Caldwell County Schools. So these are huge honors, financial honors for this department. So let's give them a big round of applause. So we will get.
All the faces, okay. I can see you. Stay right there. Got it. All right, here we go. Do two again. Here. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
So if we have the winners of the agronomy team, and they'll give me a little bit more time to practice that word for South Caldwell High School, and their beta winners, their national winners, if they do come in, then we will recognize them, or we can move it to the next agenda. So thank you. I will, thank you. And thank you, Mr.
If we appreciate your being here, and certainly we welcome you to stay for the duration here, which is probably not going to be that long. But now would be an appropriate time if you wanted to slip out. But like I say, you're welcome to stay. Thank you for being here.
That's Mr. Daniel, the teacher. This is Daniel, the math teacher. This is Meredith Bridges.
Okay, let me go over some announcements that we have. As we've already indicated, the early college began school last Thursday, the 9th. So the early and middle college are in session, and the traditional schools, teachers will be in training from the 20th to the 24th. And I think that Wednesday, the 22nd, is Staff Development Day. We also have a faith-based and government officials breakfast here at the Ed Center on August the 24th. Schools will be out September 3rd for Labor Day, and our next board meeting will begin at 6 o'clock. 6 o'clock in September, and that's September 10th at 6 o'clock. Let me just mention one other thing that's not on the agenda, and that is that the regular schedule of 5 days will begin on August 20th. You know, we've been here at the Education Center and throughout the county, the school's been closed on Friday as a cost-saving measure, and we do save a good bit of money, $75,000 a year by doing that. But schools will be open 5 days a week, beginning on the 20th, and the Ed Center as well. Okay, next on the agenda is Superintendent Dr. Don Phipps.
Two items I'd like to direct your attention to and seek approval. The first is a new board policy, actually not seek approval. This is a 1-month comment period, so these will be on the agenda in September again for your consideration. But the first, just to let you and the public know, is a animals in schools policy. It's policy 4203, 5030, and 7273. This is a policy that was not included when we did the customization and the initial adoption of policies. And this lays out the allowance for use of animals or presence of animals in school and includes the use of service animals and has a procedure and protocol for folks to follow to go through that. So we'd like to ask you to take a look at this, and we'll be coming back in September for approval.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to move that we put policies 4203, 5030, and 7273 on a 1-month comment period.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any questions? Any comments by anyone?
Looked like it really covered just about everything I
Yeah.
could think of, so.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
Second policy is policy 4700 that deals with student records. And when I got here, one of the things I wanted to talk with the board about and had some conversation in the process of dealing with student safety and security and being careful of we do the things with doors on campuses and things like that. There's also something that's known as directory information. This is information about students that's released upon request for directory information. And when I looked at where we're at, this is typical of most policies across the state. Item number 3, if you take a look at the marked up policy that we have, I would like to ask the board to strike from directory information a student's address, telephone listing, and email address. And what that means is that that would not be information that will be released as directory information. Again, I feel like this is just another measure to try to safeguard student identity. And certainly, we want to do as much of that as we possibly can. So all this is information that's released as directory information upon request of anyone who asks for it. And if we don't have these, if these are not stricken from the policy, then this would be information that would be released. Again, not asking for approval tonight, but would like to have the action taken to go ahead and put it on the table.
Chairman Pennell, I make a motion that we put the board policy revision 4700 student record for the 1-month comment period.
I second the motion.
Any comments or questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Anything else, Dr. Phipps?
Not at this
Thank
point.
you. Next, we have Dr. Carol Burns, Associate Superintendent for Education Program Services.
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, Dr. Phipps, we have for you tonight the Title I application, which is ready for submission. Dr. Widener did an executive summary for you, which I would like to highlight just a little bit. The planning allocation this year was $2,794,215, and that's a decrease of $10,901. Doesn't seem like a great deal, but that is a great deal to us because those funds are used mainly for personnel and to reduce class size. So this will be used for 22.9 teaching positions, 3.5 instructional assistants. We're losing 3.5 teaching positions and 4 instructional assistants. That's happened because much of those funds were in payroll, salaries, things that are given to teachers' benefits. And I remind you that anything teachers receive, such as bonuses or whatever, must come from the fund that the teacher is paid from. So that's quite a chunk. Professional development is, for each school, is set aside at 1.5%. Funds are also set aside for working with parents and family engagement. The remainder of the funds the schools use is what they do have for things such as supplies and materials and educational programs and screening software and so forth. But those are generally how the funds are used. These must follow their school improvement plan, which you look at those or talk about this when you make your visits to the school. We house those in NC STAR, so those have to be kept up constantly. The Title I plan also includes our part for McKenty Vento, which is our homeless funds, we set aside $15,000 for that. $1,500 is transportation, and those funds are used, the bulk, to provide academic support for Lenore Women's Shelter and the Lenore Emergency Outreach Shelter, where we do some academic coaching and so forth. But all of these have to follow the federal guidelines. We ask for your approval for the Title I application for this year.
Do I hear a motion that we approve the 2018-2019 Title I application as presented?
Chairman Pennell, I move that we approve the 2018-2019 Title I application as presented by Dr. Burns.
Second. Any comments or questions? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? And motion passes. Thank you, Dr. Burns. Next, we have Dr. Jeff Church, Associate Superintendent for Auxiliary Services.
Chairman, members of the board, Dr. Phipps, I have six items for your attention tonight. The first is Exhibit 4, and I have placed a new contract at your desk that before the meeting. The difference would be we used an old contract form in your board packet, and Destin has reviewed this contract. The language has changed a little bit of language, added some insurance. That is a cleaning contract, 3-year cleaning contract with Stories. I respectfully request that you approve the cleaning contract for the Education Center.
Do I hear a motion that we approve the cleaning contract for the Education Center, a 3-year contract, and that being with Geneva Story?
Geneva Story, yes.
Mr. Chair, I move that we approve the 3-year cleaning contract as presented.
Second.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you. Exhibit 5 is a radio tower lease for Cages Mountain. This is a long-term lease. It's a renewal of a lease that we've had with the Martinauts. In essence, this tower sits on top of Cages Mountain, around where the old fire department used to be, and it lets our repeater hit that bus from the bus garage. The repeater hits it, and then it's able to take the signal on down the other side of Cages Mountain. So respectfully request the renewal of this lease.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the 5-year lease for the Cages Mountain radio tower with the Martinets.
Second.
Any comments or questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
Okay, thank you. Exhibit 6 is regarding the sublease of that same lease. We were approached by North Catawba Fire Department asking to be able to put their repeater on our tower so they could have service on the other side of the mountain as well. So respectfully request the approval of a sublease.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion we approve the sublease to North Catawba Fire Department.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay. Any comments or questions?
We're good neighbors.
Good neighbors.
Good.
And also a 5-year contract. So,
Thank you.
we haven't voted on it. Anything else? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. All right.
Thank you. All right, Exhibit 7 is a copier contract with Sistel Corporation. That's our current copier provider. In essence, this is good news. This is the first copy agreement that I presented that we've actually gone down in cost. We should, with this new contract, we should be saving approximately $3,000 a year annually. A difference in this contract than the previous contracts, we will be allowing schools, if they so choose, to be able to contract with Sistel with a color copier. And that would, in essence, if they contract making color copiers from the copier, the cost per copy is about half of what they would pay using ink. But that is a school-to-school decision, and the schools would enter into that. So respectfully request the approval of this contract with Sistel.
Do I hear a motion that we approve the 5-year contract, copier contract with Sistel Corporation?
Chairman Pennell, I move that we approve the 5-year copier contract with Sistel Corporation as presented by Dr. Church.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any comments or questions? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? And that motion passes.
Okay, thank you. Exhibit 8 is a structure release. We've purchased property at 1 Park Avenue at Granite Falls Middle School. It's the house adjacent to the cafeteria area at Granite Falls Middle School. We purchased that 3 or 4, 5 years ago. That house needs to be demolished for the new construction. We've also purchased a house, was it in May or June, at 62 North Highland Avenue,
Right.
adjacent to the elementary school. That house also needs to be demolished. So these structure releases are for Granite Falls Fire Department to burn those structures. The one at Park Avenue will be part of our soccer field with the new construction, and the one at North Highland Avenue will be a parking lot. We'll put in a gravel parking lot to park the buses from Granite Middle during the construction time. So I respectfully request approval of these structural releases.
Mr. Chair, I move that we approve the structure releases for the buildings as designated to the Granite Falls Fire Department.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any comments or questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
Okay, thank you. Exhibit 9, before I present this, I'd just like to publicly thank Destin Hall for all the work that he's done to make this happen, and thank you for the work that you've done. This is a joint resolution between the Caldwell County Board of Commissioners and the Caldwell County Board of Education supporting the facility grant that's coming up. We received that grant last week, middle of the week, early week, and we are working through the grant, and we'll be turning it in at the end of the month. So I respectfully request the approval of this joint resolution. It was approved by our Board of Commissioners back on July 23rd.
Okay.
Do I hear a motion that we approve the joint resolution between the Caldwell County Board of Commissioners and the Caldwell County Board of Education? That being to support the school capital improvements in Caldwell County, and most notably Granite Falls
Granite
Middle
Falls
School.
Middle School, yes, sir.
Is there a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I'll make the motion, we approve the resolution between the County Board of Commissioners and the Caldwell County Board of Education.
Is there a second?
Second.
Comments or questions? Again, thank you to the county commissioners.
Yes, sir.
Thank you to Destin. And I hope things keep rolling along, and we'll be building a new school in Granite Falls here real soon.
Breaking ground real soon.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Thank you, Dr.
Thank you.
Church.
Thank you.
Next, Dr. Bill Griffin, Assistant Superintendent for Human Resource Services.
Chairman Pennell, members of the board, Dr. Phipps, I have 3 items to present to you this evening, starting with exhibit number 10, usual and customary items for your information only. So care to take a look at those and review those items at your pleasure. Exhibit number 11 does require action, and that's usual and customary personnel actions items that we would need, per your request, respectfully request approval for those items this evening.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the usual and customary personnel items as presented.
Is there a second?
I second the motion.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you. Also, Exhibit 12, student transfers. Currently, total transfers being requested are 56. Transfers recommended for board approval this evening would be 49. Transfers not recommending board approval, we have 7. And total board approval for 2018-19 school year would be 525. We also have 1 transfers that were revoked and 7 total transfers that were revoked for the year. I respectfully ask that these items that need board approval be voted on this evening.
Do I hear a motion that we approve the 2018-2019 student transfers as presented by Dr. Griffin?
Mr. Chair, I move that we approve the 2018-19 student transfers as presented.
Is there a second? Any comments? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Griffin. Libby, it's 5:30. We're going to go into closed session here. If those students come, hang on to them. I don't think we'll be in there too long.
Okay.
But do I hear a motion for us to go into closed session?
Chairman Pennell, I move that we go into closed session to discuss confidential personnel matters pursuant to North Carolina General Statute 143, 318.11, and General Statute 115C-321, and to consult with the board attorney and preserve the attorney-client privilege as provided in General Statute 143, 218.11A3.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? We will be going in closed session. We do expect that there will be some action taken after we come out, and hopefully we can recognize those students when they're able to get here. So the board will be in closed session for a short period of time. are back, and we have some students with us that we need to recognize. So the board's going to move back down here. Mrs. Libby Brown, the Community Relations Director, will lead us in this segment, and we will recognize these students.
Chairman Pennell, board members, Dr. Phipps, thank you for your flexibility this evening. There was a miscommunique about the time for these teams. So thank you for being patient and allowing them to be recognized, because they certainly deserve it. They deserve recognition from the Board of Education for participating at the national level for Beta. So we are going to ask their sponsor, advisor, Jonathan Hass. He is the sponsor of 16 years at South Caldwell High School. If he'll come forward and he can greet his students as they come up. Yes. And Mr. Smith, Chad Smith, has also waited patiently, and we greeted them. So, Mr. Smith, would you like to join them also? Principal at South Caldwell High School. And again, I want to remind you that these students have already been declared champions at the state level. So these are state Beta champions. And as they become champions, then they become eligible for competition at the national level. So we are very proud of them and how they have excelled in this Beta competition. We are going to start with the Beta Build team. And we have with us a couple of those students. Several of those are working tonight. I know Daniel Hart is working, and Ben Sandberg couldn't be with us, and Andy Townsend couldn't be with us as well. But we do have Justin Faulkner, and Justin is very dedicated. He is actually a graduate of the class of 2018, but he is back with us this evening to get this recognition. So let's give him a big round of applause. And Justin will be staying in this area. He is in the Ribbon program, Justin, with CVCC and Lenore Ryan University, and he is going into nursing. So we are very proud of him. He is staying right here and will be becoming a nurse soon. So just stay with us, Justin. We're going to get your photograph. We also have Gretchen Hughes. And Gretchen is part of the team that placed 10th overall at the national level. So Gretchen, you are going to be a rising junior at South Caldwell High School. So we hope to see her again next summer as she continues her involvement with the Beta Club at South Caldwell High School. So let's give this team a big round of applause. And this is Team Build, 10th in the nation, representing South Caldwell High School. So we can get a picture.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. And we do have another math whiz in our midst. So we have Zarina Villacourt, and Zarina is going to be a sophomore. So she has several years with us. She placed 4th in the nation in the math division. So congratulations to Zarina. Yes. So they want to get a picture of you right in the center. There. Get your picture. Congratulations. So if the South Caldwell High School agronomy team is watching, we will have you here in September at 6 p.m. So thank you. Thank you for being flexible.
Thank you. Thank y'all for your support.
Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for y'all's support. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. Looking forward to working with you.
Again, congratulations. Thank you all for being here. Have a great school year.
Hopefully, we'll see some of them back next year.
Okay, at this time, I'd like to turn the meeting over to our superintendent, Dr. Don Phipps.
A couple of announcements I want to share with you. I met with and several others today with our beginning teachers. They were with us today for the first time of a series of meetings that they'll have this week. Just a lot of excitement and energy for brand-new people in the profession, but also the start of the school year, and we're excited to have them with us as professionals, but also to be able to lend the support that they'll need along the way. So we want to welcome them aboard officially. Also, we have our first RESA meeting for superintendents on Wednesday. This will be my first opportunity as your superintendent to be a part of that RESA, which is a Regional Education Service Alliance. It'll be meeting in Wilkesboro, and look forward to representing our county and being a part of that. And then also, I have dealt quite a bit in the first few weeks here with our transfer policy, and I just wanted to let the public know and our board as well that I want to bring that back up and talk about the transfer policy and trying to tighten that up to some degree. So that'll be something I'll be working on the beginning of the year to put into place for next year. Then have one other item is for board action, and this is a follow-up, and it regards Assistant Superintendent contract for Dr. Bill Griffin. We've approved him, obviously, to on the personnel side, but one thing that we failed to do was take formal action on the contract, and I'm just asking for approval of the contract tonight.
Do y'all hear a motion that we approve the contract for the Assistant Superintendent, Dr. Bill Griffin?
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the contract for Dr. Bill Griffin.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Very good. Very good. Amber Cooster said. Okay, next on the agenda, and the board's had an opportunity to take a look at this. It's on the, in the packet there. The 2018-2019 board meeting schedule. And we'll be voting on that. Dr. Phipps, you have any comments?
Just want to add that we've moved the work sessions out as separate items instead of having those right before a board meeting. And we're going to schedule 2 per semester and see how that goes. But the point of that is I want to be able to share information with you all ahead of time and let you know what we're looking at and what may be coming down the pike, so that when we get to the point of bringing up action items, and we've had an opportunity to do that. Also note that the time is 8 to 10. We'd start as a breakfast meeting and work until 10 and then be finished up with that. So just make a note of those.
Okay, do I hear a motion that we approve the meeting schedule as has been presented?
Chairman Pendle, I move that we approve the meeting schedule for 2018-2019 as presented.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any additional comments or any questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Anything else? Thank you all for being here. Do y'all hear a motion we adjourn?
I move we adjourn.
Second.
Second. All right. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. We are adjourned.